Happy Saturday. We are starting off another weekend. I think it's about like 8:30 now. And honestly, we don't have much to do this weekend. I'm planning to read a lot. If you hear someone, Ian's just in the shower, but I wanted to take you through. I'm going to start reading The Wren in the Holly Library, which is now one of my most, hello Emma, one of my most beautiful prized possessions. It's gorgeous. I don't know a thing about it, but I had a rather tough week at work. Just misogyny running rampant, flagrantly thrown in my face. So nothing like a little bit of fantasy escapism. That's really what I need right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to enjoy the weekend and not think about returning, sitting at the table at the same group of men Monday. So for now, I'm going to start my book. I took a shower. I have to work out a little bit later, and there is a soul food place that I would like to try. And if you don't know, I'm from Florida. I'm from the South. Soul food in Canada in general, hard to come by. On the East Coast, very, very hard to come by. So I am excited to try that this weekend if I can get across the bridge at some point. So for now, I just refilled my coffee and I'm going to get started. Okay, it's many hours later. It's 5:30 now. And I read the first 4 parts of The Wren in the Holly Library and the first maybe 150 pages. And I am enjoying it. So it's not an urban fantasy, but it's a more modern set fantasy in which the real world is kind of turned upside down at the turning point that monsters come to exist. So they have been existing in this world, what is our current world, and it's revealed to the humans when they get into this big war where vampires and werewolves, classic, are going at each other, and then all the monsters, mermaids are real, fairies are real, all of that, start to pick sides. And we are now 13 years after the reveal of monsters and 3 years into the reveal of the monster treaty that they signed, basically so everyone would stop dying. And our main heroine is a thief in this world. Humans, unless you were very, very wealthy, can basically pay for your safety with these monsters. Notwithstanding why they would fall into our ecosystem. Doesn't make sense, but moving past that, basically humans have to struggle and steal to survive. So I'm enjoying it, but I picked up the camera because I wanted to say that I beat my first video game for the first time in like maybe more than 5 years. I was playing A Night in the Woods. Not the game I thought it was. Very different, very strange. I still liked it, but I will say I am very easily spooked. So there were a couple of times that I definitely needed some reinforcement, some backup before I could play anymore. But that being said, I'm now going to put this down and pick the book back up. Ian is making dinner. We're going to have chicken and sweet potatoes. And I'm going to get a little more reading done. Good morning. It's Sunday at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. If you hear rustling, Ian's making us breakfast. But I wanted to check in to say that I finished in one day The Wren in the Holly Library, and I rated it 3.5 stars. It was a fun time, and I didn't know, at least I'm assuming by the ending, that it's going to be a series, or at least there'll be various standalones within this world. So I did enjoy it. It's similar to where I left off yesterday about it being set in a modern Manhattan and monsters existing. It's also the unraveling of humans discovering that magic also exists in this world, which they take pretty on the chin, which I do feel those are 2 leaps of logic. But they all kind of just decide to roll with it, and then from there our story is kind of propelled. So it's kind of a mix of urban fantasy, heist centered. So it was fine. It was a fun time. It was very easily digestible. I started my period yesterday, so was in a lot of pain at the end of the night. So it was like a really good form of escapism for a Saturday night, and just super, super easy to read. The 3.5 was just because it was a little bit lacking in depth. The characters were a little bit one-dimensional. It does have a couple of sex scenes and everything like that I felt were fine, but like a little bit, I feel like a distinct shift happens maybe like 60% of the way through the book, where it felt like a romance fantasy, and then the last like 10% felt like the first half of the book, if that makes any sense. It just felt like a very weird tonal shift, and neither was bad, but it kind of just felt like it wasn't a seamless story. So that's all. I think I am going to pick up the Ministry of Time if I'm going to read anything today, but I'm also going to spend some time with Ian because he goes away for a wedding next weekend, so I would like to get some time with him and also catch up on some Love Island and all of that. The UK one has not been strumming my guitar this year, so I would like to spend a little bit of time with him. And we're also going to be rereading all of the Harry Potters together, and I think he's going to start book 1, so we're going to read 1 a month, and he'll start it on his trip. He leaves on Friday, so I might pick that up to start this week, and I'm not too sure. But he's going to take the Kindle with him, and I know all the Harry Potters are on Kindle Unlimited, so he'll have that to go with. So I'll check in if I do some reading, but like, to be honest, probably not. In 5 seconds, I've changed my mind. So I'm going to end the video here. I'm happy with 1 book. I'm currently 8 books ahead of schedule. I think I've read 53 when I checked, 54 on Goodreads. I'm not too sure, but happy with my reading. It did save me from, I was so close to falling into a reading slump because I tried like 3 books back to back. That did not work for me. So if anything, it was a quick book that you can kind of just get through to just tick one off the list and stop yourself from getting in a slump. So that's probably going to be it for me this weekend. And I will have a long weekend coming up. I took Friday off so I could stay home and watch the dogs. And honestly, I was just hosting an office party anyway, so I got my admin to take care of that for me on Friday, and then I took Monday off because that's when Ian comes back, and I'd like to spend some, well, he comes back Sunday, but I'd like to spend some time with him post traveling. So I'm gonna end it here and look forward to a longer vlog next weekend because I have nothing else to do but read.